Welcome back, everyone, to Whims of the Creator. I'm J3 Puffin. Today I am joined with some co-hosts. Gadget, welcome back.
I'm back. Hello.
Volk, welcome back.
Oh, yes, thank you.
And today we have a fourth guest coming straight to you from the custom set discussion community as well. It's Blank.
Hey, hey.
So today, as this little title slide obviously shows you, we're talking about Gadget's Scooby-Doo custom set. This is the original cartoon, the old classic.
Yep. First 2 seasons.
That show had 2 seasons?
Technically, it's like, oh man, you're gonna make me look it up now.
Shit.
That's fine. While I move to the set breakdown slide, you can just talk. You can look that up.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So, set breakdown for this. We've got a lot of cards and some interesting stuff to talk about here. So, obviously you have the low chart. We're dealing with a 120 card main set, 20 card trial deck. So, I think that's about where trial decks tend to be.
Yes.
There is a single combo, and it's on a magnifying glass trigger. We'll talk about what magnifying glass trigger is in a minute. But the rest of it is, you got a bunch of 2 trigger lineups.
Yeah. Let me kind of go into the background of this. So Scooby-Doo, Where Are You is the very, very, very original classic series of Scooby-Doo. You may have seen it on Cartoon Network growing up. All your classic villains are in this, the Creeper, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde ghost, right? The ghost clown, the ghost of Captain Cutler, right? It's technically 2 seasons. Season 1 was 17 episodes. Season 2 is 8 episodes. So it's 25 episodes altogether. So there were 2 main philosophies going into the set. Number 1 was I made this set originally starting in 2022. And I was kind of bummed that Bushiroad wasn't using some of these old triggers like Shot and Bag. So I wanted to make a custom set that kind of utilized those. And I also wanted to make a set that was an IP that I really, care about and have a lot of lore on. Scooby-Doo is kind of like a slice of life type show where there's not a lot of continuity between episodes, and so it means that the flavor of the cards is more about what happens in the given episode or based on whatever the character is doing in the picture or whatever the flavor text might be. The reason the set is so large is because I wanted to give every character at least 2 climaxes, and then that put me at about 100 cards. And then I said, well, I think it would be cool to be able to have a set like Quince where every deck has a playable waifu version of that deck. So I had to make a lot of chaff cards with every character on them to kind of make that balance out. So there is going to be a lot of chaff to go through, but it's all in service of having enough cards in each color so that you can run a 2 or 3 color waifu deck for each of the 5 members of the gang. That's kind of the flavor. That's why the set is as big as it is. I think we'll try to push through the chaff cards a little bit because once, if there's something that's not really interesting to talk about, we'll kind of just rate it and move on, I think. But because there's going to be a lot to go through. But we'll stop and talk about the notable ones for sure. Any comments or questions on that so far from anybody?
I really enjoy seeing Shot trigger. I think Shot's really cool, but it never gets anything cool.
This set it gets 1 payoff card basically.
If it's the
Works
card
for
I'm
me.
thinking of,
Oh.
God.
Oh, this is going to be interesting. All right. So, speaking of triggers, let's talk about, the ghost of the machine here. So, what the fuck is a magnify trigger? Magnify trigger is a custom trigger that between me and Ron, who manages the Magic Set Editor, we got into the system. It's kind of like if your standby trigger added you to hand instead of playing it to your field. In fact, that's literally what the text is. When this card triggers, search your deck for a character with a level equal to or less than a level +1, show it to your opponent, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. So, standby that goes to hand instead of field. My personal issue with standby is that it's a field plus that also turns everything into an early play. This removes that early play aspect because it's going to your hand while still being a plussing trigger. It's obviously fitting for a magnifying glass to show up in Scooby-Doo because Scooby-Doo is a mystery show. That's literally the whole fucking thing. They're going to solve mysteries of why the fuck is this guy in a costume terrorizing people.
Yes.
But yeah, also solves the mystery of, hey, is search trigger good? People probably would say yes. Yes, it's very good. Hopefully when we get this code up into the sim, we can actually simulate how good that is.
There are a couple things here. I will say I did not have this trigger in the set initially. Initially, I did have Book in the set, and I ended up adding this trigger like earlier this year because I thought the idea was cool and I wanted to test it. The original version that Ron and JP created is it's literally a search standby. So when you trigger it, it has a soul trigger. You search your deck for a character that's equal to your level +1. You reveal it, you add it to hand. But when you hard play it from hand, you also get to do the magnify effect. Just from first round of testing, I knew that being able to hard play a climax and get a plus would be too good, so I've already changed it in my set. In this set, you'll see that it is a 1k1 trigger with no soul trigger. It's just when it's triggered, you search your deck for the character level +1 and add it to hand. And even like, so here's the thing. I've tested it quite a few times. It definitely reads very strong. I don't actually think it's like too strong. You could argue whether or not it should exist in the game of White Schwartz, which I think is a fair argument, but it definitely, in my opinion, it didn't feel super OP to play. I'd like to hear Volk's thoughts on it since he's actually sat across from it for quite a few games.
I mean, I don't think it's super broken the way you've got it now, because even if you're, yanking a card to hand from your deck, I think the issue that you ran into is you hit one search deck that thinned your deck of not climaxes, and then you hit another one. And then I think you hit like 3 of them in one turn, and then you just had all of your climaxes in stock. And that just screwed your deck for my next turn.
There's the trade-off. Yeah.
You can argue that's not necessarily a bad thing if you're playing a set that has Twin Drive or you're willing to pay 3 Encore.
Yeah.
I don't know, Blank, what are your thoughts on this? I don't know if you've seen this yet, but...
I don't think I've seen a lot of your custom stuff. I think I remember the villains deck, but that's because I thought it was interesting. I haven't seen this, like, trigger thing. It's pretty cool. I don't think it's broken, really, because, like, we have door, and, like, this
Right.
trigger can actually mess up your refresh timings, potentially. Like, if you're going down to, like, you want to do that one card thing, but you know you're playing Magnifying Trigger, you could, like, have to fail the search to refresh how you want to, or something like that. It is interesting that we have this one level restricted, considering door grabs anything at any time. But if the initial one was on play, you also get to do it. I guess I understand that, having the level restriction.
Borrowing it from standby, and also because if you compare to like a traitless character salvage, like it would have to be search trait, and obviously I'm not going to put a trait restriction that would change between sets on a climax trigger. So it'd be like, all right, what other condition can we put on this? And level +1 is like, if standby does it, then it probably works for the condition on this.
Right. So we should talk about the next slide. So there is a new type of climax that they printed in Phantom Trigger, which is this split book. I know that we've talked about this on the channel before, which is a door, or not a door, it's a book. When you trigger it, you get to draw a card. And then on play of the climax, you get to give 2 characters +1 soul, and you get to draw up to 1 card. And that really kind of just blows the doors off of potentially making custom climaxes. So with that in mind, if you don't like on trigger search level +1, there are a couple alternatives that may need testing. I have these in the order that we talked about them earlier today, but the one I want to go over is this 1k1 summon a cost 0 from deck. I think that all the ones we've got on this slide are fairly interesting, but this is kind of the one where, based on the design of the game right now and where it's going, I think this is the one that's most likely to, if they make a new trigger for blue, I think this is what they do. It would be a 1k1 that would summon a cost 0 from your deck, and it would be either equal to or lower than your level or your level +1. It would be just like standby right before the deck. The thing would be it could only target cost 0 characters, and since there are a lot of new level 2 cost 0 characters, you would potentially like get to support this strategy with I don't know, more interesting characters than just a 2/1 that has an assist or whatever. I don't know. Given that we've seen a lot of 2/0 characters in latest sets, it's something that's interesting to me in terms of the design space. Some of the other ones we posited here are like we were talking beforehand. If anybody's seen the Pikmin set review, we know that set has a ton of events. I thought it'd be fun to do a 1k1 climax with a soul trigger on it, let you salvage events. Very strong in specific sets. I don't know if you do the magnifying glass with that, but you could use it for a new trigger type. I don't know. Here's this 1k1, look at top 3, add a character, then send the rest to bottom deck. Same idea, 1k, or not 1k1, give 2 characters 1 soul, or give 3 characters 1 soul. Top 3, add a character. put up to one on top, the rest on the bottom. These would be when they're triggered, by the way. So like when triggered, look at 3, add a character, and the rest of the bottom. Or when triggered, look at 3, add a character, put one on top, put the rest of the bottom. And this one, I want to give Devin credit for. Devin from Virginia Weiss. This is like his idea of another blue trigger that you could have, which would be a 1k1. On trigger, give the character attacking, pay 1 encore until end of turn. Kind of like in the same way that Soul Trigger or Shot Trigger gives the character in battle cancel burn 1 until end of turn. This would be the same idea, giving you a chance to save a character that's going to die for 2 less stock. Climaxes are not as strict as we need them to be, especially with the design of the game that it's going. So, I would encourage the custom community to continue to keep an open mind on this stuff.
Or continue to be not open-minded, because personally, climax innovation is one of those fucking things where it's like, on the one hand, obviously it's an innovation space. Who doesn't like innovation spaces in a community around, like, making custom shit? On the other hand, the thing that kind of struck me with Weiss Schwartz when I first got into it was the fact that climaxes were like this, like, safe zone of legibility. You looked at the trigger in the corner and you're like, all right, except for like Double Soul, I know exactly what this does. I know that your book is a 1k1 and you stand by as an on play that isn't giving any power or soul, that kind of thing. Whereas you have this little split book profile that's kind of fucking with that design space. And I personally, despite the fact that I've now built like a whole like 5-6 fucking triggers for MSC, I like having that extra legibility.
I haven't tested all the other triggers that you made, but I have tested mag in real life. I think what the important thing is if you can like print your proxies and get real life testing in, that'll give you an idea of how strong a trigger is and whether or not you need to nerf it. But I knew basically immediately after putting mag in my deck that I needed to immediately rework one card that I already made here in order to make it not unfair, because the second you have twin driving magnifying triggers in your set,
yeah.
the potential to high roll is just so insane that that just can't be allowed. And so like I think you're welcome to do that. You just have to make sure that you test it enough.
Yep.
I guess just as an example, in a previous custom set that I've made, I decided to mess around with the wind trigger, and I made it, instead of a 1k1, I just made it an on-play wind.
Huh.
Just to see how that would go. And I mean, wind isn't played all that much anymore, unless it's a deck that just revolves around it. And even then, like, I don't really know that many off the top of my head.
Data Live's the big one, and Sword Art.
Yeah, I got into Data Live specifically to play 8 Wind, and then I got the set and realized I just wanted to play 8 Book Toka instead. And then I watched the show, so shoutouts to Weiss for making a deck interesting enough to get me into an anime. Good work, Bushi.
The only other 8 Wind thing I know of is Ayakashi, and that deck's like...
Oh, yeah.
They both do the same thing, where it's like, you can hard remove a character instead of just bouncing it to your opponent's hand. Ayakashi's is on a 2-1, and it bounces them to stock.
Ooh.
Because it has, like, no other conditions and doesn't need, like, an early play type thing or whatever to be done at level 2. But, like, the finisher is just kind of whatever, so it doesn't actually see a ton of play.
Huh. Like, bounce the stock is in a stock kick, or are they getting plus stock off of that?
I believe they just straight up plus stock.
That's some old
which is like
shit.
Weird.
That's
yeah,
like
that's like the Skya.
There's the Fate Zero like level 3 combo or something that does that. And that's the only effect of the combo. It's like on attack do that or something.
I can look it up. I have tabs on Little Akiba and all this other shit, because the only time I open my laptop is when I'm building custom cards myself.
Fair.
I think
when you're
Death
ordering
Measle from Disgaea has that same thing, like on reverse, kick it to stock.
Oh, on reverse. Oh, yuck. Okay.
Yeah.
On reverse plus your opponent
Yeah.
a resource is insane.
That is old school Weiss right there.
Oh yeah.
You have to have a
And
climax.
on a shot combo.
Yeah, no, that's what it is. Oh fuck.
It's like an 8k level 2 that you can early play.
Oh god, man.
Alright.
I want Fate to be cool. The old stuff just
What do you-
isn't. I'm just
It
saying.
is-
Yeah.
What?
Like, if Fate has released later and had modern art card quality instead of being, like, foundational and suffering because...
The visual novel. Original art.
Oh, no. It does not plus your opponent's stock. It sends it to stock, and then they pay out the bottom card.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well,
Which one?
Just turn wind into stock kick. I like that. I would play that 2-1, yeah. Cool. Alright.
The 2-1's pretty sick. If the finisher was better, I would totally, like, be playing that deck a lot.
I'll make that a note. Alright, speaking of notes, let's get into the cards. Trial deck time.
All right. The trial deck is just based off the interest sequence. If you've seen this classic interest sequence, basically every card is pulled from that. So yeah, there's some funny picks in here.
I think
The
this.
Scooby Doo theme entered the public domain.
So assist 500 for trade should only be 500 at 1K? Am I wrong on this?
No, I don't think so. But I mean, this is old Bushi math, to be honest.
Yeah, I think this gets to be 1K. But that's my only comment on it.
You are correct. This should probably be 500 or 1500. But the reason it's like this is because when I copied it, I was like, oh, I don't want this to work with the villain trait in the set, so I made it.
Oh yeah, no, trade assist is fine on it. It's just that,
Yeah.
to the 1K, it's fine.
The power's wrong. Yeah, no, I got you. But yeah, there's not much to this. You would rather play a brainstorm.
Yeah, you really would.
So I actually think there's some merit to this in this set because you have bag. So like pay 2 rest to get your plus back and pay out your bag is like not the worst thing ever. But like the card is
Fair.
not very good, no.
That's fair.
Alright.
Yeah.
Velma.
This next one is Velma biting her bottom lip. This is a draw brainstorm. Pretty sure that first effect is from the brainstorm in the Ruby trial deck. So when your other character becomes reversed in battle, choose when your character gets 500, and then it's a mill 5 draw brainstorm. I'm pretty sure this is on spec.
Draw brainstorm flip 5 is 2K. That's why all the TD ones are 500.
Rats.
Yep,
Oh well.
the classic problem.
Yeah. So there's a couple things about this one. It's actually anti-synergistic with the new level 1 combo in this because I forgot to update the first effect on this. But we'll get to it. The other thing is, like, the only character in the set that did not get a brainstorm is Daphne. So if you decide to play Daphne waifu, you need to play a different card. That's kind of a miss. I could have made this the Daphne brainstorm, but I just decided not to because Daphne is a standby in this set, and I did not want to try to balance standby in a custom set because it's so hard. You might play this if you want the mill 5, but otherwise I've never found a deck to put this in. It's not bad. I don't think it's bad. It is kind of a failed design. I should also say
brainstorm in the set?
There is a check for
Alright.
you, I'm pretty sure.
yes, there's a check there. Yeah, I made these
Okay,
cards
I
like
would
2
never
years
play this
ago.
then.
You know, like you. The other thing is we're looking at this in the context of like Rurouni Kenshin just coming out in Japan, right? This set reads like a 2.5-year-old set because I initially made it 2.5 years ago. This is maybe one card I probably should go back and rework, but also it's a TD card. It doesn't really matter that much. There are way cooler cards in the actual base set. So
I mean, it's a brainstorm, but I don't think I'd ever sleeve it either, so.
Alright. It's your like level 1 guy in your trial deck, your 1/1, which makes it kind of a standby target for Daphne, at least. Looks on spec to me.
it should be on spec. I made this card to kind of introduce the
About to
theme.
say.
That Daphne is the standby, so that's why she's on the 1/1 standby target. There's a way better 1/1 standby target in the set, so you don't ever play this card, but it exists if you want to try it. I'm gonna give it the equals. So pay attention. I actually put in a lot of effort
It's
with
a
the flavor
number
text
on
in this
board,
set.
I guess.
It's a 1/1
Yeah.
that gets up to 10K, like kind of like the Luna, like a 1/1 level 1 version of the Luna with a similar effect.
I think there's a Glinda in the Ruby trial deck that I based this off of.
Yeah, like that card saw a little bit of play. Like it's not the worst thing ever. Swing big,
I think
hand on core.
Yeah.
I mean, what did the level 1
I think it's
Zuko
gonna-
do?
Level 1
It had
you
a
go
similar
to?
thing to
Uh,
Zuko.
Yeah.
It had like a
Well,
similar thing to
got
this.
power based on soul triggers and has twin drive.
Oh, okay.
Oh
never mind.
god,
It's
right.
the Nijigasaki 1/1.
Did it have the hand on core, or did it have
Like-
something else?
No, it didn't. But you needed to have like
Okay.
2 or more characters.
It did.
The other thing too is like most standby targets that you see are either going to be like 7/5s with clock on core or hand on core, or they can't be reversed. So you see this profile less often, but I don't. Without spoiling too much, the other 1/1 standby target is a card you 100% would play. So like you almost never play this,
Okay.
but you can.
Fair.
You know what I should ask? Is this card missing a soul trigger? It doesn't need one.
No.
Right.
If it had a soul trigger, go
I don't
down
think
to
it's
5K.
missing a soul trigger.
Because 1/1s don't get them for free. 2/1 is the first one they get it for free,
Right,
quote
yeah.
unquote. Alright. Moving on.
Next, nobody has to waste their time with this. This is literally just a trial deck card. It's a 10/5 cross turn beater. Never play this, but you need it because it's a trial deck, and trial decks need cards like this.
It's a bungler.
It's a punk.
No, God. I don't ever want to put a card like this in my trial deck.
Yeah, I mean, look, this was 2 years ago. Trial decks used to not be as good 2-3 years ago. You used to buy like a trial deck and get like 1 or 2 playable cards, if that.
Yeah, they're
Now
getting
you open
better
a
at
trial
it.
deck and like both combos are playable, and there's usually 2 or 3 other staples on top of that.
Hallelujah. I'm
Praise
happy for all
Jesus.
the new players that can buy a trial deck and not feel completely DDoSed.
DDoS.
Yeah. If you're a new player, go pick up a trial deck tomorrow. It's so good, unironically. Playable right out of the
Does
box.
that have a top end combo, or was it just the level 1?
Yeah, remember the Shia restander?
Yeah, it's literally the meta combo.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. Holy. Yeah. God.
Literally the combo played in Meta Ari Feretta.
Yeah. God.
And the set has a climax
Which is
swap
absurd.
in it, and it has a Fuka Zero, and
Ari Ferretta's good. Don't let people tell you it's not.
it
It's
works.
very good for things. All right.
and
Oh,
the
yeah.
TV off finisher is actually played as well. That's such a good trial deck.
Yeah.
The
Anyway.
Very good trial deck.
Jinkies. Level assist and on play pitch one to make up for stock. Okay.
I'm pretty sure it bases off a Hololive card, but I don't remember which one.
So like Kanate kind of exists. I remember I've done something like this. It at least for my version of this effect it's not on spec because like that stock thing is like 500 because it's basically trading it for like the 4 more condition that you see on like the one stock guys. So like what is that? It's a 8-5 base. Level assist is 15 or it's actually no it's good. It's 3K, 35. So it'd be like 5K.
I mean, didn't Ari Feretta have a level 2 UA that did this?
That one was 4 more refunds the stock, which I like those way more than I like this card. I actually think I hate this card.
Fair. Yeah, it's not good. I wouldn't play this either.
Look at her face, Blank. She's absolutely shocked that you felt that way about her. Come on now.
It's so
Dude,
weird.
she looks like she has the shocked Pikachu face on right now.
It's so weird.
Yeah, right?
God.
So good.
Yeah, this deserves to be better because you want to play this art in the flavor text.
Yeah, no, there's a better Velma later that we'll get to.
Does
This one's
it?
like okay.
Does
There's a
she
way better
also
one.
say Jinkies?
Yeah. Does she also say?
No, she says you stop that.
That's not the line, Bart.
It's a meme.
That's
though.
not Jinkies, though.
We gotta have Jinkies.
Is it a tap counter?
Alright. There's not a tap counter, but it's,
Gotta
but it's
have
close.
Jinkies.
It's an action, I think.
Put tap
Okay.
counter into trial deck.
Okay.
All right, to the friend.
Let's do it. Tap counter.
This card is in your center stage. All your mystery and characters get 1500. Auto, when it's placed on stage from hand, you can ditch 2 cards if you do. Shoot up to 3 cards in your opponent's waiting room, return them to their deck, and shuffle afterwards.
I always forget that Botan that does this.
This is
on play.
Botan.
Yeah, it's just Botan. So. bing.
It's fine. There aren't any cards in the set that do this sort of decompression effect. So if you want to play quote-unquote Fumio, this is the only card you can play that does that.
Oh God.
It's like the worst
Jeez,
Fumio
holy
ever.
crap.
though.
To that, yeah. Especially because
Also,
like,
if
This
you-
is your only decompression in the whole set?
No, sorry, that's not true. I do have stock swap, but like this
Okay.
is there's no Fumio, there's no like other weirdness, I'm pretty
right.
sure.
So you're not stock swap
I was about to
Fumioing, but you're
say.
stock swap Vissing, and that's.
You could do this if you wanted to. I've never done it. The other thing too is because this is low
Okay,
1500.
so
this
you're
is
Hollow
definitely
Life.
something I'd forget,
Does Icy Tail
Yeah,
count
yeah.
as decompression?
Depends on if you're playing
Yes.
Chainsaw Man or not.
Shit.
Fuck.
I had an entire conversation today. I know Aki is a broken card, but for me, it will only ever burn 1. That's it.
Yeah, I have won games off the back of Aki never finding climaxes because I'm already too decompressed.
I mean, when I went to regionals, I don't
It's
think I
like
lost
this-
to Aki once. But
Me
then
neither.
again,
They
I was,
always
I
burned
was-
1. My only wins were versus Aki.
I went 4-2, and both the Chainsaw Man players that I played just had a fucking hellish time. Those poor bastards. What if the
I think
I
the
got-
2 times I went up against it, I was playing Ari Feretta, and my stock was just at like 15 the entire game. So when they did the mill, they'd hit climaxes, but then I would put them back and cancel anyway. And I would just never take any damage.
Oh God, that sounds right. That's alright, Feretta.
Playing with fire there. Do I like this card?
I never
think
got
like
stock
this
swapped.
card.
Yeah, it's a question
That's
of
there.
if you like Botan
Chainsaw
or
Man
not,
doesn't
right?
have it, so...
can
Botan
like
was
it if you want
okay.
to.
This is probably in a better color for this, if I had to guess, but I don't really know.
I guess
It
we'll
is.
find
It is nice that you don't have to
'Cause with-
color fix. Like, if you're playing it in standby, you can just play it.
Because with Kanata, it was always like, okay, now I'm playing quad color if I want to play stock swap and the shuffle back.
True.
And all the other.
Also, clarification, Gadget. Are you using the minus as your neutral?
No, I'm using my minus.
Because you don't like. Okay, cool.
I mean, there is no. Let's be real. You asked me if how I thought about flavor and if I would rework this. There is no flavor on this card. This is the other thing I need to talk about. We'll talk about it when the TD is done. But Evan from Virginia Wise was actually supposed to be on this originally, and he gave me a lot of the initial ideas and flavor for this set. Like every character has its own form of flavor that we'll get into when we get into the main set, but Fred's flavor is he's always on the hunt for clues. So like what a lot of the Fred cards will do is they'll do some sort of scry or rearrange effect to help you confirm your next trigger. This card doesn't play into that at all, and frankly none of the trial deck Fred cards do. So they're all kind of minuses, but it's a fine card. It's just I've never played it. I've never felt the need to play it. It's kind of whatever.
That's fair.
All right, can we start talking about the blue cards?
Hello.
I read
Scooby
it
and
already.
Shaggy concerned.
They're
Or
cornered.
cornered.
I
I mean,
is
they're
concerned.
concerned too, so. Auto
I'm
pay one at the
concerned.
beginning. At the beginning of your encore step, if you do not have another rest character in your center stage, you may rest this card. When this card comes reversed in battle, if this card's battle opponent is level 0 or lower, you may put that character at the bottom of your opponent's deck.
This is the Noel bomb from Hololive.
It's like,
Sure as hell don't remember
I don't
that
know if
exact
I would
combination.
ever run it, but if my opponent ever slammed it down, I would just like groan massively because they would get to bottom deck 2 of my shits.
Or right? They play this as like, oh, I don't have it. There's a world where you fucking like you go into this and you no, because it's 500 power. God damn it, never mind. Yeah, this card's what?
Oh no, you're right. This isn't that card. Sorry, it's a different card.
That's about-
I don't remember where I got this from, but it's
I don't know how to
definitely
grade this.
definitely a real card.
Terrifying. Yeah, it definitely is on
What
budget.
do I
'cause
grade
The
this?
bottom deck is
'Cause, like-
2K. The effects, the encore sort of effect is.
I think it's funny. I'll give it a solid B minus.
It's playable.
Dude,
But-
B,
Yeah, if you
B
need,
for
if you
bottom
need a blue
deck?
bomb,
Yeah.
The bottom deck works.
it's just really funny. I don't know.
yeah, it
Like-
might not have been Hololive, but there's definitely a card that I based this off of.
It's just like your opponent slams this going
Banged your
first,
message
and they're
card.
like,
Sorry.
"Well, I
Thank you.
guarantee,
It's
I guarantee 2
Yeah.
Unless your opponent just
if
has
you
to
want to try field."
super play around it and not kill your whole board.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a
included in
plus
here.
then, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
exactly.
Either this card's a plus or he index 2 of your shits. It's very silly. I think I like it, but I would groan if somebody fielded it versus me for sure.
I mean, like it's one of those cards that like it. Every time I see bottom deck, I think of fucking Luna. I've played 8 Standby Hololive the most, except you know I when I brought it to regionals, I was like, God damn it, I hate the bottom deck that also searches Easy Revenge. I don't want to run any of this Luna, but it's Luna, so I have to run one of it and
Dude,
call it good.
Himeno.
How in the world did I forget? Anyway, yeah.
I don't know. I know way too much about this game. I feel sometimes. Like I did the Ohio challenge or whatever, and I scored like 37 points, which is like 10 higher than the person who won.
Holy shit. Shout out.
I just no life this, and it's kind of sad.
I have reached that point. I think I
Sometimes.
reached that point last year. I understand the pain. All right.
Okay.
Speaking of pain, maybe. I don't know. Ah!
Oof.
Oh, it's traded. Yeah, that's fine. All right.
This
cool.
card is pain. Am I supposed to want to
Yeah.
play this card?
Not at the moment.
You
No.
might. I don't know.
Dog
Oh, I didn't
trait
read the
is
last card.
insane. I didn't even notice
Yeah.
dog trait. But like there is no actual like dog trait. It's all animal. Like they don't actually specify.
That's true.
That's lame.
That's true. Cause yeah, like the cat in Chainsaw Man is just animal.
There is a funny interaction with a card in Data Bullet that says if your opponent has any cat traded
Yeah.
things, that it has a downside, like it can't front attack them or whatever. But there isn't a card in the game that has cat trait inherently, so it's just a fake condition.
Huh.
I mean, didn't that Watame with the bell pepper thing get a fucking
she
card
targets an
that it can do that
Oshinoko
too?
card. Yeah, it's so good. She hits an
It is
Oshinoko
funny.
blue card or something. It's like
Yeah, this card's ass. It's just in here because I don't have a lot of zeros at pump power, so whatever.
Yeah, I thought we were
Next
talking
card
about the
is
next card. That's
next
even
card's a
worse.
vanilla.
Cool. All right, moving on.
Dude,
Zoinks.
please tell me this vanilla does something cool.
No.
Nope.
Not in this set. Maybe the next set he will.
No.
Yeah.
I'm
Just give
honestly
him the
thinking about-
stock.
I'm putting Amelia in the next set, dude. I'm putting it in. I think it's funny.
I love Stockata.
Yeah.
That's what
What do you
everybody
say?
in my friend group calls it. It is put the Futaba into stock and it's on Stockata, so we call it Stockata.
Okay, that's facts. I respect it.
Oh, boy.
Do I respect this? I mean, it's on budget.
Shit's on the ban list now. 3K.
I like this card. I
3Ks are
played it in Adventure
broken.
Time. It's cool. You might play it in Shaggy, but you might not. There's no other deck that needs it.
Yeah, you want to talk about 3Ks? What about a 4K on your first couple turns?
You know what? Even in Shaggy, it's anti-synergistic
Okay.
because Shaggy plays the bag triggers.
Yeah, he's literally green and stocking.
if you
so
trigger the bag early, this is never 4K.
yeah, like
What? Just for that?
Ah.
I mean, I put this in my Pauper deck for recently.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Sure. It's like a fine card, I guess. It's not terrible. I've seen worse.
Yeah.
All right, I do like it.
Okay.
This card's actually relevant.
Put this card in your waiting room. Okay. Oh, it's a saver and it bonds to this vanilla and this 3/2 that I don't know what it does, but I'm interested now. Bond
Right.
saver's like kind of cool if the targets are
Yeah.
okay.
So here's the thing. This trial deck has like 2 cards, maybe 3 that are semi-relevant. One of them is level 1 combo. The other one is this 3/2. This is literally the Roxy from the Mishoku trial deck.
Okay.
It was a 10k, heals on play, on attack, pay 2, ditch 2, burn 2. So being able to search this card is very good. And this card is very important, as I found. It's incredibly important for 2 different strategies in the base set. And so, like, the fact that it bonds to it is just very good. Having the saver effect is nice in certain decks, but really it's just there to, if you want to play the TD finisher, you might squeeze one of this in. But yeah, it's just, it's good. And look, there's Shaggy supporting Scooby. He's supporting him, and he's searching him from the waiting room.
Aw, yeah, flavor.
I'm gonna have to take your word for it. I don't think I'd ever play this card.
Really?
Like, I just think I'd play the Roxy 3/2 raw, especially when you have Magnify trigger to just like go. Oh yeah, I'll go search my off finisher now. Thanks.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, like, I don't think I've ever seen you play this in the deck.
I did at the beginning, but I cut it right away.
Yeah, at the beginning.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, the thing I noticed is that this is the other thing that a lot of the cards in this set play to experience, and so for that you need a lot of high level cards. This is just a 0 that you end up cutting to play stronger cards at level 3. So.
The turn, the turn from like, yeah, this card's great to
Oh,
It's
right.
good. It's playable. It's playable. It's a saver.
All right.
All right.
Is this
Banger card here. This is on attack. Choose one of your other Mystery Inc. characters. It gets plus X power. X is equal to the number of other Mystery Inc. characters you have times 500. Vanilla.
Shima Kai.
Yeah.
Shima.
There are matchups where you need this. There are matchups where you don't.
I play this in my Shioko deck.
That's because
I played this
Oshinoko has a
in
bunch of power problems.
Oh no, not Oshinoko, Shioko, like the Weiss mascot girl.
I don't. That is one Weiss set I have never looked into. I've looked into way too many Weiss sets. I will never look into that.
I played it on
that meme in the Discord where it's, is Shiroko even cute? The answer is no.
I played that deck on stream, on a Weiss and Chill stream once. Yeah, the deck is so ass. It's great.
I love a good bad deck, but I will never play that. If I want to play a bad deck, I'll play Godzilla.
Understandable.
Godzilla army deck is like one of my favorite decks.
just laughing because I remember
So
losing
fun.
to it when I played. What did I even have together?
Yeah,
That
was that during Ari Ferretta Cup?
it might have been.
Because I won the
I don't remember
tournament. I won Ari Ferretta Cup with Godzilla.
It's
It's very silly. I beat a bunch of Ari Ferretta decks in a row with Godzilla. It was amazing.
If the Eminem song was not, copyright traded, we'd just, play a little bit of that. Instead, we'll move on to the Shaggy, I think.
Traded.
All right.
Don't worry about it.
Volk, do you want to read this one?
Sure. Okay, level 1 Shaggy combo in the shower. When Bath in a haunted house is placed in your climax area, if this card is in your center stage and you have 2 or more other mystery ink characters, it gets the following 2 abilities. During your opponent's turn, this card cannot be reversed.
Oh.
When this card attacks, look it up to 2 cards from the top of your deck. Choose your trigger. It's base vanilla Brat from Hololive.
It's vanilla.
Yeah, it's
Brat.
the Bay.
Oh my god.
So here's the deal. This card used to be Obro with a 1k power condition on a pants trigger. And then I realized that was literally the exact same as the Ray from Star Wars, and I was like, that's boring. I'm not gonna do that. So I made it a 5k that had the Merlin Obro from Seven Deadly Sins, which gives any character on your stage twin drive and bounce back. And that was when it was on a pants, right?
Right. Okay, I see.
Because we added the magnify trigger to the set, getting twin drive to any character, just as we discussed earlier, can make the magnify trigger very strong. So now this is just A, because instead of getting the twin drive, it gets choose your trigger, and then it can't be reversed. There are ways to recur triggers in this set, or climaxes, excuse me, fairly easily. The only downside of the way this card reads now is I really enjoy playing. I played it for the first time against Volk the other day, and I think I had a pretty good game with it. But the downside is now all of the cool stuff in this trial deck that's meant to synergize with it, like the Saver and like the Velma Brainstorm, they just don't matter anymore because this just can't be reversed anyway. I think it's a cool card, but it's definitely lost some flavor over the years.
Mm-hmm.
But it is, the one upside to it is, look, if this was a real trial deck, this would be the only plus trigger in here. It would be like 4 mag, 4 2 souls that we'll get to, and this would be like the reason, like it would be like the introduction to the mag trigger. Instead of having a combo that pluses you like a Maguro, you have the combo that pluses itself and the trigger that pluses you from deck, which is kind of a cool twist on it, I think.
What was the top end trigger you played with this? Was it pants?
When I played against you, I played the mag first, so I could test 8 mag, and then I switched to pants, yeah.
I think this card blows. Like, it's so small. Like, you're gonna be crashing into... and then you don't plus at all.
Or you side attack.
Like, I read this and it's, when my climax doesn't have a soul trigger anymore.
Yeah, I think Bay gets up to 7.5.
Yeah.
Bay gets to 8k.
I thought she was 4.5, gets 2k, and then the climax puts her to 7.5.
It might be.
Yeah.
I know that my friend plays Bay because he's a casual rat enjoyer. Shout outs to Thomas.
Shaking rat gift.
He's borrowing some of my Hololive cards right now. That's why I'm bringing it up, because he just built Bay for the first time, and he's like, "Man, this combo sucks." And I'm like, "We've taken Bay, and then we've made it even worse because now it can't scale over anything."
And it's
now you have to side.
Yeah, that's
like this is rough. Like
Yeah.
I would never play this either. Like it is technically a plus sometimes.
Yeah, definitely needs some.
Yeah, I know from testing you had to side a lot mid game, and you just couldn't deal damage. Yeah.
But I did get to choose my trigger.
Yeah, which
what
ended up putting, like, you put like 3 mags in your fucking clock or your stock.
You can do that as like a 500 ability with a 2 or more condition on just a guy. You don't have to play a combo to do this, my dude.
I guess.
That's what I'm saying, man. Choose your trigger. This is a vanilla choose your trigger, basically.
God.
Yeah,
Rough. All right.
Never said it was good. More testing required.
We'll
get
get
to the workshop, you know.
He needs help. In the meantime, hush.
35.
500 backup. These exist. TD backups.
35.
You play this if you need it, but you usually don't. Alright. And then the best card in the trial deck.
The classic. Pay 2, pitch 2, deal 2.
Roro Reggie.
Roix. Yeah,
Like, yoinks, man.
I have to give this a plus because of it just synergizes with a couple of the top ends here, and you end up playing it quite a bit.
Good off finisher.
It's fine.
Of the scenes from the intro sequence, this is probably the most like Scooby being big of them all. He's literally in a barrel, just running around trying to find the robot, and then he ends up finding him at the end. That's why it's on level 3. Other than that, there's not really much flavor here.
That's fair. Very important card.
We don't need to talk about this. This is
the JoJo
this is
backup.
Groom and the Turtle. We talked about it during the Pikmin video. This is the real, tested, tried and true, balanced version of this profile. This is another card you can play in the trial deck to save your Shaggies if you need to, but there's no card that searches events directly in the trial deck, so it's whatever.
Yeah. Poor guy.
Giving it a plus because
Is
it's
there
a
any
mystery machine. They get to drive away.
Is there any like on play damaging effects in this set? Like, is there any way to break this?
On play.
I don't think we're Ari Ferretta now. Like I haven't
Like
seen
on
any.
play burn.
I don't think there is. There might be one coming in the next set I'm working on, but I don't think it's gonna matter enough to break it.
I like it.
My custom sets, these have been getting level 1 treatment.
It's because level 1 is unbalanced and probably broken.
Well, also because it's the
This is the hard thing. Technically, a 1/0 return a traded character in battle to hand might not be that OP, but the closest thing we have to compare it to is omnidirectional mobility gear, and that is a pay 1 balance traded character and then ditch 1 salvage. That being a 1 cost means it probably needs to be a 1 cost event. But if you're playing it at 1 cost, it's not broken. It's just fair. So like, I don't know, you know.
Yeah, I'm of the mind that the plus is what pushes it to 1.
And here, sorry, I saw Blank wanted to say something, but I need to say this too. I know I'm gonna get flack as we go through this of people saying, "Wow, this card is just this card from this other set. This card is just this card from this other set." But like, you have to understand, I've been testing this set on and off for 2 years, and I've been so nervous about putting busted, untested stuff in this set because I want people to have a fun experience playing against it. Like, sure, getting to play like the Flying Pikmin Escape event in my custom set would probably be more fun, but it's also not a real Bushiroad profile that you're basing anything off of. I've tried to be really careful about the cards that I made that aren't or analogous to real cards. You could argue that makes the set less cool because there's not as much interesting spicy effects in here, but I think you'll find that in testing, if this ever gets programmed into the sim, this will actually be an enjoyable set to play because you've already played a lot of these profiles before, and none of them feel too strong.
And super fast to code.
I just want to get that out of the way since this is like this is the last card in the trial deck. It's like the fine time to say that, I think. But
Anybody who knows me from the custom channel, I get a little bit of flack because I'm like, are we sure we want to do this, guys? I don't know. This profile seems a little crazy. Arguably, I probably play a little too safe with profiles and card design and stuff, but that's because once I get mine printed, I don't want anybody to be like, do you want to play custom stuff? Or like, do you mind if I play my custom set? And they'll be like, no, your shit's way too broken, put that away. Nobody's ever going to play that with you. And it's like, I don't want to go through all this work and like pay all this money to have it printed and designed and whatever, just to never play the set.
Yeah, as far as sub hosts go, you were probably the perfect pick for this set because this is like exact territory for that process.
I
think some of the stuff is really cool, like that I've seen in other custom sets. Like the main one I remember is Vivi. Vivi custom set was like, man, this has so much cool shit in it, and I've never even seen Vivi. And then I was like, this has like the perfect thing of like these effects that like, yeah, you might need to tone them down a little bit or whatever, but you have like flavor, you have an idea, is like a mechanic you want to build around. And I just thought that was really interesting, and I think it's really hard to strike the balance of balance, flavor, and actual card strength. You know what I mean?
That was the first vid on PGH that was customs, right? That was like the one before Paru started doing stuff.
Yes.
I remember watching that.
Technically, they did the April Fool's video with Donkey Kong Country, but you know, Donkey Kong Country was also Paru's set.
Like, it makes me want to watch Vivi.
Yeah.
No, it was like top 10 cards or something.
Okay.
Yeah, it like makes you want to play Donkey Kong Country. That's what a custom set really should do.
Absolutely.
I'm hoping
I want to
people
go
who
watch
have seen...
Vivi. It's just I haven't gotten around to it yet.
I'm hoping people who see this set get nostalgic for the old episodes of Scooby-Doo that they remember from Boomerang and stuff.
Yeah, going through this was a real like, oh my god, yes, for a lot of it.
Yeah.
There's some stuff we'll get to that I'm going to have to ask where it came from because I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, I know
Next
immediately.
card.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we do Yellow.
There's a 2-soul climax that doesn't combo
Deal.
with anything, and there's a stock soul climax.
Yeah,
That doesn't combo with anything.
I do like having
If you
both
wanted-
in the TD.
Yeah, if you want to play them, you can just play them. They're here. You know, they're TD cards.
I don't know if there's been another TD that's done the split on the souls like this. Like if they've had the two different types of 2-soul in the same set. I like it.
I don't know.
I don't
I've
have
seen
2-soul in the core set.
a
so
vanilla
they're-
stock soul.
Mhm.
Have you guys seen a vanilla stock soul in a TD before?
I did actually look
'Cause
into that.
I don't remember one.
I did ask around.
Hololive?
I had to like dig around it. Yeah, the Hololive ones are level 1 or higher stock souls. No, wait, lower.
There you go.
Wait, why is yours 1 or higher?
Oh, I don't know. That's probably a mistake.
That's
I mean, the
funny.
Hololive trial decks aren't like
Well,
pairless.
Yeah, that's true. The Hololive trial decks are Hololive
Well, the
trial
other-
decks, you're right.
I just mean a vanilla one, because like this one doesn't combo with anything. The
Yeah.
Hololive ones combo both times.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
yeah.
they put those all the time.
I mean, they do
So, like,
combo. I see what your
this
point.
one-
Okay. Because they do
Like in TDs.
yeah, they do like comboless 2 souls all the time. Do they do comboless stock soul? And I don't.
Yes.
Okay.
Literally, Seven Deadly Sins Volume 1 has a. Oh,
Ah.
that's a wind. Wait a minute.
Wait. Yeah.
Where is
Huh.
this thing that
Also-
I found? No, you're right.
Also, English originals don't count, bro. Bushi C doesn't know how to make cards.
All right, well there you go. I mean,
Using Bushi C for any profile is like sus.
I'm also wrong, by the way. Seven Deadly Sins doesn't have a stock soul in their trial deck.
I know that I also like when I was putting
Yeah.
together my one TD for forever. I also went looking for this to try to figure it out. I remember that I found something. I don't remember what it was either, and I can't exactly open that set file right now without destroying the recording.
Yeah.
So
Level 1 or higher card is definitely wrong, though. It should be level 1 or lower.
okay, that is I feel like that would be a fun alternation for a set.
Yeah, but no. Let's not do that.
not
There's
here.
already too many dark materials in this
I
trial
mean,
deck.
I mean, if you're an experienced set, you might be playing
Yeah.
higher than level ones. So maybe it.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I am, but that doesn't make it fair, though.
I would be interested to see this tested.
I don't
with
think
this
this one. I don't think this
It
kind
also
of
doesn't
change
combo
matters
with
that
anything.
much, to
Like,
be
it's
honest.
literally just in here because it's a 2-soul. Like,
I mean,
No.
old stock souls were just color based, weren't they? Not level based.
Yeah.
No, old stock souls are
Or
blind
top.
stock from
Yeah.
top of
we were just talking about that while we were talking about what they would do to bag if they want to give it split book. Make a instead, but it's not split bag at that point. It's just like on play. What would you even call that? I don't even know. All right. Well, we'll catch you in yellow.